Buon pomeriggio, Fortunata. Thank you for coming on to Radio Italia Uno, Adelaide.
It's my pleasure, Antonio. Piacere di essere qui con tutti. E scusa che mio italiano non è abbastanza bene, ma lo capisco un pochettino.
Okay. Allora, e poi dopo parliamo di questo. We'll figure that out too. So, you are a member of Ascolta Women, a group of Italian-Australian authors, but it's a broader group than just authors. I'd say just authors. It encompasses various types and parts or aspects of art. So, what is your art, your artistic expression?
Well, my artistic expression is very varied. I mean, we're all very diverse in terms of what we bring, our life experiences, and our backgrounds, our education, and our passions. I suppose what we all have in common is that we're of Italian backgrounds. And for me, I have a background in a theatre and performance and
Okay.
the performing arts. And I actually taught drama and theatre as one of my first professional jobs in a secondary school in Sandringham, which actually was very well known for its performing arts. I was a junior teacher and I had very good teachers. And we travelled overseas with the students. So it was very grounding in terms of career pathway. I didn't stay with that though. I did diversify. I worked in the arts for a short time in arts marketing, and I did a course in multicultural arts professional development with
Okay.
Fotis Kaptopoulos, who started this course around how do we get more culturally diverse people to experience the arts, because the arts are predominantly, affordable to people with money. How do we make the arts available to everyone? So the arts are really very important, but they're under valued in our country, of course. There's not enough funding to go around. And so how can we make the arts available and accessible to everyone? And I think Ascolta does that very well because we've created our own arts product. And I think
Yep.
that's where you kind of land with these things. You start creating your own, which is really necessary and important. So, and then from working in the arts background, I'm very passionate about community and making things accessible and inclusive for everyone. Um, and I work as a community worker with people and capacity build, help them create their own community groups. So I've got a really good background in governance and knowing how to do that work with committees, which is also very important, and how to get funding and that sort of thing. Um, and I also landed on yoga and yoga practice, which I just
Wow.
can't get enough of. And incidentally, very topical for our new book. I happened to become qualified this year. I went and did a course in Bali, a 200-hour yoga course. I have actually been doing yoga for many, many years, and there's different styles, different types. And teachers in the yoga profession do not like you mixing up the styles.
Yes.
And so I could probably get into trouble, but I went and did a course very quickly to be able to qualify so that I could use it in this year's anthology, titled Il Corpo, which is all about the body, and wanted to use my yoga teaching and yoga practice to influence and inspire women in our group to use that as a way of getting experience for writing their stories, to actually tune into the body. So I really love yoga. My first passion is Iyengar yoga, and I'm not qualified as an Iyengar teacher yet. I do need to go back and do my training, but I am qualified as a Vinyasa yoga teacher,
Okay,
and
yes.
I'm currently teaching as a fill-in teacher because I work full time for a local council. I don't have a lot of time because I do about 10 hours of practice every week. You got to keep up your practice. And then I teach from time to time, and I make Zoom lessons for Ascolta, and I send them out every week for our membership to do. I don't charge anything. I do that with passion and give it freely because, again, I believe that these sort of things should be available and accessible to all people. And that's another thing I've noticed about yoga. It has become a bit of an elitist sport, if you can call it that, and affordable to certain demographics. So I'm hoping that through my work, I can make things inclusive and accessible that everyone can enjoy the benefits of what we're doing. And this is what Ascolta, the writing, what that does too for our members is it really enables all skills and talents to come together to tell and write their stories. Like some people might not be proficient in that writing, but in their ability to tell their story, as you know, our parents' generation, they were much more oral in the way they did storytelling. They didn't write things down. My mum, you interviewed my sister a while back, and she spoke about our mum. Um, our mum ran a cafe for
Yep.
for 18 years, and during that time I worked for her a couple of times, and I went to write down, like I have to write everything down, and she's like, "Why are you writing that down? Just tell me, Mum, I can't remember the I can't remember the order. Just tell me the order." So, she would remember the orders. She wouldn't, I couldn't give her something written down. She's like, "Why are you giving me a piece of paper? That's nothing to me." So her oral skills were and are very proficient, whereas ours aren't because we learnt to read and write, didn't we? So we have to write everything down. So whose memory is better in the long run? So yeah, what a sculptor does is that it enables women of all abilities to come and participate and feel like they're part of a really important group and movement in terms of storytelling. And we do that in a way that enables everyone to contribute. It's not about you know, whether you're better than anyone else. And that's what I really like about Ascolta. It really embraces all of us in an extended family, so to speak. And women who have come and joined have expressed that.
Yeah, interesting. We
You know,
have a
feel
short
they
break
belong.
now for some messages from our sponsors, but the yoga topic is interesting. Just a few months ago, I looked for and found a yoga book that my father bought, maybe in 1970, Yoga Made
Yes.
Easy, and it was 80 cents for this book. It was a paperback, and I've been rereading. I remember reading it as a teenager, and I've come back, and we can talk about that and develop that thought in a
Yeah,
minute. Now, just
sure.
a couple of messages from our sponsors. So we just we're pursuing this yoga topic a little bit, and I think you mentioned that it's relevant to your contribution to the next anthology. Now, so Ascolta Women has an anthology every year, and
Yes.
the next one is called Il Corpo, the body. So what's clearly yoga is relevant. So how does that work out in this case?
Yes. Very good question. I think, well, in my situation, I'm providing a weekly yoga class. And weekly also we meet and we have different prompts that people bring to the space. And we write for 10 minutes on a topic. And of course, I'm not going to reveal all those topics because you'll have to buy the book.
Yes.
To get a sense of the stories, but we explore different themes, different body parts, and put that together. In terms of yoga practice and say a meditation, it's a tool, I suppose. It's a way of going deeper into the topic of the body and asking participants to be intuitive and to tune in to the body, and by doing that they're actually feeling rather than thinking. So yoga encourages us to feel into our bodies so that we're not always in our testa, we're not always in our head. When we're in our head, we tend to worry and worry and worry. When we're in our bodies, we are in a totally different space where we're probably using our subconscious mind because we're feeling into our body and we're disconnecting from all our worries. And so yoga actually enables us to have a break from ourselves, in a sense, a break from all that thinking and thinking and thinking. And if you practice it enough, you get to a point where you feel this real sense of freedom. Well, this is my experience, freedom in yourself. You get a sense because you actually you're creating space in your body.
Yeah.
And you're creating space for yourself. And in doing that, it seems or it feels like you actually have more time, not less time. And in that way, you coach yourself to be more at ease in life and living and doing what it is that you do. So I think from my experience of teaching people, and I don't have a lot of experience yet, but I've started, and from what I've seen is that people aren't aware of their physical selves and what they're actually physically capable of doing.
So what does that mean? We're not aware of our physical selves. How does yoga and meditation help with that?
Well, it gets you to be grounded by having your feet on the ground and practicing asana or sitting and breathing and just being with the physical self in the space and feeling into that experience. You just go to a different place within yourself. It is very personal.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a, how do you say? I mean, you do it with other people, but your experience is unique, in a sense. So, yeah, for me, it's about encouraging people to feel and to feel confident that having feelings is a good thing.
Yeah.
We're often told that it isn't. And I'm from my experience of being Italian, feelings are very important. You
Indeed.
know,
Yes. Yeah.
we're very expressive people. So I suppose in tuning into yourself, you're more aware and you can choose how you respond to the different things that come to you without
Now,
being reactive.
yes. Now we're going to wear on radio, but I'm looking at you via Zoom and there's a video and I see a photo behind you in your background with looks
Yes,
like some vineyards and some trees and a lot of water. So what is that a significant image?
it is actually. I thought I'd put that in the background. because my family experienced there was some floods in 2022 in Mildura,
Yeah.
and at the time there were quite a lot of floods up in the New South Wales area, and all the water was kind of coming down towards Victoria. So it wasn't that it rained a lot, it was just that the water was coming through the tributaries, through the river system, and we have the Murray River there. And my family are on a flood zone. And so this is an image of the floods as they were receding. They actually, if you look at the vines, the water was, and the olive trees. So you're looking at olive
Yeah.
trees and vines, and it's actually our driveway.
Oh.
Uh, the water reached the top of the trees, above the trees, and definitely above the vines, and they're no longer there. So my mum and dad had the property since 1980, and had put in vineyards and olive trees and fruit trees. It was predominantly the olive trees and the vineyards that were drowned. And when the water receded, um, my brother cleaned the whole area up and got rid of the vines and the trees. So that was 40 years of hard work going down the Gurgler. Basically, they retained some, I think about 100 olive trees. So they did pick the olives this year and made oil. So we're beneficiaries of that oil.
Yes.
It's really delicious. So yeah, my mum and dad have always been very self-sufficient in that regard. But it was really sad that it happened. But unavoidable. And I don't think they have had a flood since 1971 was the last flood, and hopefully they they probably won't have another one in their lifetime. But my
Yeah.
mum's 89 and dad's 91, and I suppose they got to retire, but they're still on the farm. They didn't leave for that whole time. It actually it because the phone lines weren't working. It
Uh-huh.
was the first. It was the first time Mum. It took a flood for Mum to go and get a mobile phone. So she took off in the boat with brother-in-law to go to the shops because they had to go in the boat. And then there was always a car waiting at the end of the road where the water stopped. And they took off to get a mobile phone because the landline stopped working because it's under the water, under the
Oh.
earth. But everything's back to normal. But it was incredible actually going to visit, and there was still water. And to see because it's quite a beautiful area, conservation wise, there were a lot of people from conservation coming and having a look because it was an incredible wetlands that attracted amazing bird life that I'd never seen before. And I saw a spoonbill. I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
those birds. They've got a bill with it. Anyway, I've never seen one, and I saw one, and apparently they don't. They're on their own. They're a bit of a loner, but I saw one, and it was just incredible how much bird life there was that came to the water. And the other thing that happened was that my brother-in-law, he loves yabbies, and they started to harvest some yabbies as well. So, the land still provided,
Mm.
even though the vines and the olive trees died,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so Fortunata, I think we have to go now. I've got the next guest coming up
Sure.
just now. But thank you very much for your contribution, for explaining to us what you're doing in Ascolta Women and the importance or the value that yoga and meditation can have in helping us understanding our body and how we feel or we think. So
Yeah.
best wishes for the future yoga career and the next
Thank
anthology.
you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Antonio. Pleasure. Bye for now.